Amy and Matt here, and this is a continuation of the SummerSlam series review. In SummerSlam 1994, The Undertaker versus Undertaker. And I actually recently just saw this one. You know, this was interesting seeing these two. Well, first of all, let's talk about what happened the prior year. Royal Rumble 1993, or no, Royal Rumble 94. Yeah, that's right. So, Yokozuna versus The Undertaker. Undertaker in a casket match goes into the casket, and then we don't hear from Undertaker. He didn't make the WrestleMania 10. Then there's speculation on what's going to happen. They send in Leslie Nielsen, for fuck's sake, of the Naked Gun franchise. So, this is cool. They're going to figure it out. And that brings the... Oh, yeah. Then the false Undertaker comes into the WWE. First featured in the Heartbreak Hotel. Shawn Michaels, see... Can't remember the dude's name, but $1 Million Man brings him in. Yes, the guy actually portraying the false Undertaker was Brian Lee. So, that's pretty cool. Anyways, so we get there. Undertaker versus Undertaker. But, let's start off with dark match, Adam Bomb, who defeated Queen in the dark match. The silly names for all these wrestlers. Quang was a ninja guy. Then we had the pay-per-view of SummerSlam, Iron Shyster and Bam Bam Bigelow defeating the Head Shrinkers in a disqualification. And yeah, so $1 Million Man had his own take team faction. Iron Shyster, Bam Bam Bigelow, Nikolai Volkov. I think they wanted to have Lex Luger join, so it was all about Lex Luger joining the faction, Tatanka saying that he's sold out, and it just was going on and on until SummerSlam. So I get to find that out. We have the women's championship defender, Alundra Blaze, the champion who defeated Bull Nakano with Luna Vachon in retaining the title. I never paid attention back then to the women's championship or the women's division, so this was kind of cool to see this match and see how cool it was to have Japanese women come into the WWE and wrestle. Of course, I don't know if Bull was actually Japanese, but all in all, this was a good match. Then you have I already did that one. Razor Ramon with Walter Payton, who defeated Diesel to become the Intercontinental Champion, Walter Payton being a football guy and being in Razor Ramon's corner as the Tag Team Champions. So yes, the Tag Team Championship was not defended on this night. So Diesel, the Intercontinental Champion, with Shawn Michaels in his corner. But on this night, Razor Ramon won the match. And I believe this was the turning point where Diesel turned on Shawn Michaels. So this is interesting to see how that formed, and this would be the last pay-per-view. But actually no, I'll check up on that. I was gonna say this would be the last pay-per-view with Scott Hall, but it's not. So. Then we had Tatanka versus Lex Luger. Again, interview with Todd Pettengill talking to Tatanka and Lex Luger. Tatanka saying that Lex Luger sold out, basically. So they had the match. That was a good match. Tatanka looked stupid with his hair. But then you had Ted DiBiase come out, basically. So Tatanka wins when Lex is distracted by $1 Million Man. They go back and forth. Then when Lex turns his back on Tatanka, a hammer. So Tatanka turns heel, joins the $1 billion corporation. So that's the first. And a lot of people keep saying how Tatanka was a bad heel, but I really kind of... Well, yeah, I wasn't really paying attention at this point. I watched it here and there, but this was interesting. Just Tatanka being the guy who was a better face. And then we have Jeff Jarrett, who defeated Mabel with Oscar. Men on a Mission, this was a good tag team. I'm not sure who Mo was. I lost, unfortunately. We got Jeff Jarrett with Tennessee Lee, and so on and so forth. So this was interesting. But yeah, nobody seems like Jeff Jarrett either. I didn't like him, but not to the extent that I know most people don't like him. Then we have Bret Hart versus Owen Hart in a steel cage for the WWF title. And this was cool. This was probably their most entertaining match. This was a continuation on to WrestleMania 10 when the first match happened with Owen and Bret, and Owen Hart got one over on Bret, and then this match. So you got Jim Neidhart in the audience who was siding with Owen. You got Davey Boy Smith, who fought Bret Hart 2 years earlier. He was in his corner. And this was a back and forth. You know, it's a shame that we lose Owen, because Owen was that guy that would have been really good in the PG era. He wasn't vulgar by any means, but he played a really good heel. So Bret Hart wins, and they beat the shit out of him. Well, actually, Neidhart gets out of the barricade, hits Davey Boy, and then they go in a cage. Davey Boy gets beaten up by Owen and Neidhart. The Hart brothers join Bruce and Keith. Well, maybe just Bruce. Then they haul ass backstage. So again, this was a good feud, a good match, and that's pretty much it. Like I said, through the years, at least up until Owen's death, unfortunate death, this was, you know, very good to see these two, you know, interact with each other. And then the main event happened. We got Paul Bearer's Undertaker versus Brian Lee, or the false Undertaker, who was managed by Ted DiBiase. This match was so-so. I mean, they did pretty much the same thing as the other person. So the wrestlers are... well, you pretty much know how it goes. Go on. So Paul Bearer gets the urn, raises it up, Undertaker wins. Then at the end of Leslie Nielsen, and I can't remember the actor's name, and they have a briefcase. There, you know, Naked Gun was always about puns and certain things like that. And the case was closed, and it fades out of that. So I read this in a magazine. I didn't watch it back then, but I recently watched it. So yeah, it was an okay pay-per-view. The heel turn from Tatanka was pretty cool. There's nothing really more I can say about that. So I'll see you in a bit.